Today we're talking about a 14-year-old YouTuber who's currently being pressured by diddlers to star in a web. Yep, that's right guys, 2025 is never beating the allegation of being the best year to be a PDF file. A few weeks ago, this video popped up on my recommended feed, and initially when I read the title of this video, I hate you, stop being weirdos, I was initially taken aback. I was like, what's she saying f me for? What did I do? But when I saw that the length of the video was actually short, being 1 minute and 35 seconds, I'm not gonna lie, but I actually expected this random video to be a meme video, to be a funny video, because I think we're all in agreement here when I say that 99% of the time when you see a random video pop up on your recommended feed with an ambiguous title and it's a video that's like 1 minute long, well, you expect it to be a meme video most of the time, right? For example, you see a video like this, 1 minute in length, and with the title being Trainwreck N-word sneeze, like, it doesn't get more ambiguous than that, so obviously, you expect it to be a meme. Hey, I heard the N-word somewhere in that. Smash like and subscribe if you did too. However, when I click on that video expecting a random funny video, that's not actually what I got out of it. Far from it. In fact, instead of being welcomed with a random skit video, a random meme video, I was instead greeted with possibly one of the most tragic, sad videos I've ever seen in my life. I was greeted instead with a kid who was clearly in distress and who was crashing out, understandably so, at the countless weirdos who infiltrated her comment section on YouTube and who were saying some vile, nasty, disgusting stuff towards her, ranging from creeps literally going on her comment section and typing some sus compliments such as, "You're really good looking for your age." But even worse, she was also rightfully outraged at the degenerates who are suggesting her, an iOS 14 kid, to start an OnlyFriends account. Now the reason as to why I'm not going to show any footage of that video in particular is because that video has since been deleted. And as someone who believes in common decency and who believes that, you know, a kid's decision should be respected, I'm not gonna show footage of a video she might have regretted making. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she didn't like how she crashed out or something, but whatever the case may be, make no mistake, because what this YouTuber kid is going through is very much real. Let me be crystal clear. When I say that these degenerate freaks who have infiltrated this kid's channel are fell abortions and beyond disgusting, I mean it. Because not only do they go out of their way to literally leave freaky sus comments on every single one of this kid's videos, such as this one. And to be clear, we're not talking about raw meat from Costco here. We're talking about raw meat from Epstein's Island, if you know what I mean. But you know what? Maybe I'm the one who's tripping. Perhaps I'm the one acting in bad faith here and I'm actually slandering this good, decent human being over here who was most definitely referring to raw meat from a supermarket in the comment section of a 14 kid. I mean, let's be honest, guys, but whenever you see a comment with more replies than likes, that's always a good sign. In fact, one of the many replies warned this good person by saying, "Hey bro, I know you're definitely referring to Gordon Ramsay's raw meat, but hey, maybe don't leave a sus comment like this in the comment section of an iOS 14 kid, of a Clash Royale minor." And this is what this good person replied with. Yo, whenever I cover these disturbing, disgusting, sad topics, I don't know bruh, I always get reminded of the sad reality, of the objective fact that the internet it's just not a safe place for kids. In fact, if it was up to me, at the risk of sounding like a lower BMI version of Kim Jong-cook, Kim Jong-un, not Kim Jong-cook, that's a K-pop artist, my bad guys. But at the risk of sounding like a lower BMI version of Kim Jong-un, if it was up to me, I would make it so no kids whatsoever would be allowed to create an account on any social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube. Because you're never going to be able to convince me that there are any benefits to kids being able to upload content of themselves, namely pictures or videos of themselves, on Instagram. Whereas there are countless benefits for diddlers if they're able to access content from Clash Royale minors on Instagram or TikTok for free. But back to the point I was trying to convey to you all, because yes, it gets much worse. Not only do we have these creeps who, to be frankly honest with you all, should be deported to the nearest electric chair, but not only do we have these weirdos going out of their way to stalk this kid's channel and leave a freaky sus comment on every single one of her videos, but according to this kid's Discord fans, well, according to them, we're also dealing with professional diddlers who literally prey upon Clash Royale minors for a living, because they go one step further and literally subscribe to this kid's channel, turn on the notifications, and they literally wait for a notification of her going live to pop up on their phone so that they can snipe one of her live streams, and yup, you've guessed it, they go ahead with all of these professional creep tactics all so that they can have a chance at interacting with a Clash Royale minor. And unfortunately, I think we can all agree here when I said that it's way harder to ignore comments that are coming on your live stream, live on air, as opposed to ignoring comments from weirdos on the comment section of your videos. But I do want to go on a little but very important tangent for a second, because I want to ask you a question that I'm sure a lot of you guys are low-key asking yourselves. Why the fuck does a 14 kid have a Discord server in the first place? That's not really a good idea now, is it? I mean, you're essentially creating a honeypot for pedophiles and diddlers to join. And what the fuck is this? Yo! Yo, I think I speak for everybody when I say that ain't nobody wanted to see whatever the fuck is going on there. Hey, my bad for crashing out, but I want to make this crystal clear. I'm not just making assumptions here. I'm not just talking out of my fat cheeks here. No, I'm actually speaking facts. But, of course, don't take my word for it, because here's a snapshot of this iOS 14 kids Discord server where you're gonna see something wrong right away. You're gonna see this random person called Funny Guy who's saying, "Good morning, champs." Now, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys, but the only person I've ever heard saying, "Good morning, champs," unironically, is a 50-year-old unk. So I don't know about you guys, but in my book, that's already a red flag. But of course, it gets even worse, because when you check out this guy's Discord profile, you're gonna notice that he marked himself as someone who's 22 years old. Now, I'm gonna be a very brave person here for a second and ask a very controversial question. What the fuck is a 22-year-old doing in the server of a 14 kid? People are just self-reporting themselves at this point, aren't they? And by the way, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, but if you zoom on this guy's PFP, I would go ahead and say that this guy doesn't even look like he's 22 years old. This guy looks like he's pushing 40. This guy looks like he sells candies to kids. I think I speak for everybody here when I said that Mr. Funny Guy over here needs to rebrand his name to Mr. Sus Guy. Smash like and subscribe if you agree. On everything, you're never going to be able to convince me that there's ever a good reason for a grown-ass adult to join the Discord server of an iOS 14 Clash Royale minor. And why did they give him the super cool member role in the Discord server? What? No. If you're someone over 20 years old, you should automatically be given the super pedophile role in the Discord server. And definitely not the super cool member role. Okay, so apparently the number role doesn't actually have anything to do with the people's age in the server, but it's more so a role that you give to yourself to change the color of your name. Which actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because ain't no way this guy's 22 years old. And guess what? He actually admitted so himself that he's actually just a 32-year-old innocent guy chilling in the server of an iOS 14 device. That's definitely normal, right guys?
I'm a 32-year-old guy. You guys think I'm a weirdo too?
Yes! By definition, you is a weirdo. Like, what is your 32-year-old bum ass doing in the server of a 14 Clash Royale minor? Like, you're not being funny by saying this. I feel like he's trying to crack a joke by saying this, but in reality, you're just being self-aware. You're just self-reporting on yourself. Like, you're not being funny here. In fact, you know what? You want to be the funny guy? You can be the funny guy in prison, okay? When you drop the soap and go ahead and pick it up and then boop, something sus happened to them cheeks of yours. Now that's gonna be funny. That's gonna be hilarious. But this is exactly what I meant when I said that, you know, a Clash Royale minor owning a Discord server is never a good idea, because you've got so many of these... You've got so many of these weirdos who look like they're pushing 30 or 40 going ahead and joining the server of an iOS 14 device. You've got this guy who's out here teaching children about love. And then you've got Funny Guy over here backing him up by saying, "Wow, that's beautiful. Now that's what love is." It's like you've got two potential freaks backing each other up. Why are grown adults teaching children about love, guys? I don't get it. But you know what? Maybe I'm just being an unk. Maybe, you know, this is the new wave in 2025. Because after all, we're seeing all these cases of PDF being protected in 2025.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
But moving on from this freak fest, let's go back to this creepy comment from one of the iOS 14 YouTuber's fans who was claiming the following. Are people dead-ass asking Leo, the YouTuber in question, to, do something sus live? Now, I'm well aware that the comment that I'm showing to you all is not really a concrete piece of evidence. It's not really a solid piece of evidence. After all, it's a random comment from our Discord server. This guy could just be capping. He could just be spreading misinformation. So how about we actually investigate for ourselves, look at our live section, and try to find out if this guy was actually speaking the truth all along. And spoiler alert, I'm willing to bet that this guy was actually saying the truth all along. But anyway, let's pick a random live. I'm definitely not picking this one because I don't know what the flip is going on there. Talk about politics? Well, I don't feel like losing 2 IQ points right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to listen to a kid talk about politics, but that's just me. Poop talk with me? Okay, let's get this one. Now, I'm expecting to cut the video here because... Well, I'm hoping that I'm gonna have to cut the video here because it's hopefully going to take me 50 minutes, 40 minutes to find one freak in one of our live chat. Because if I'm not cutting the video here, then that means that it's so easy to find a freak in this video that, you know, like, that's actually worrying. That's actually very worrisome.
comment was take a shit on me. Dude, why are you being weird? Stop asking me that. No, leave me alone. You're weird.
Okay, I'm sorry. What the f? Oh, hell no. Hey, you can't make this DD stuff up. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that my last minute of commentary doesn't have a single cut in it, to emphasize how easy it was for me to find one of these freaks in a random live stream of this kid. And you can't even make the excuse that, you know, what if it was just a friend of hers trolling her? No, because seconds later, here she is complaining about how she's trying to permanently ban many of these freaks who have successfully infiltrated her channel.
Leave me alone. You're weird. Fucking, you're a loser. Dude, I don't know. It's like, I started hiding comments for you because there's like people asking me if I'm a virgin right now. Hide user from...
Okay, for guys who don't know, hide user from channel on YouTube essentially means permanently banned. But, man, what did we just hear? Like, this is what I meant when I said the internet is just not safe for kids. Not only do we have that one dookie freak literally asking a Clash Royale miner to take a fat dookie on that freak, but we also have these 40-year-old losers, these terminally online, unemployed losers, mistakes, fell abortions who are literally going ahead, stalking the channel of an iOS 14 device and asking that device if her headphone jack is still brand new. Like, what are we doing here? Hey, you know what? I'm not done with that dookie freak. I'm not done with that dookie diddy, with that doo-doo. I'm not gonna say what needs to be said about him, but I am going to show something very important concerning that creep. So watch very carefully. Smash like and subscribe if you agree. I just don't get it, guys. It just doesn't compute inside of my ramen noodle brain. Like, imagine being that freak's mother, right? Imagine being pregnant for 9 months, suffering for those 9 months, just to, you know, poop out that baby of yours, and for it to grow up into a 40-year-old loser, unemployed, terminally online freak who collects disability checks for a living. But not only that, but he's also out there stalking the channel of iOS 14 devices and asking them to take a fat duke. Like, is that really the culmination of the 9 months of suffering while you were pregnant? And the 18 years of you feeding that freak of yours? I'm sorry, but if I was that mother, that would be my 13th reason why. I feel horrible for this kid, man. I mean, the fact that you can go on any of her videos, any of her live streams, and you'll see her comment section being packed with these degenerates who are posting these kind of freaky comments like,
When you look this good and mature, don't blame us for appreciating beauty. Here's a rose I was hiding inside of my cheeks. What am I supposed to pretend, like you don't exist? That's called a lie.
like, why do we have these 30-year-old bums flirting with an iOS 14 device? Like, Rizzing then. Where's my motivation? That's his name. Yes, where's your motivation to go participate in the latest Mr. Beast challenge? But here's the sad reality of the situation. Even though I feel extremely bad for this kid, I know we can all agree when I said that at the end of the day, this is not surprising at all. Like, these type of nasty comments popping left and right in their comment section, they're just not surprising at all. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that this is the expected outcome, especially in 2025, when we literally have governments treating these PDF as a protected species, to the point where I'm fairly confident that these PDF are increasingly becoming more aware of the fact that they can get away with being freaks, to the point where if you go on Twitter, you are starting to see increasingly more disgusting sus tweets like this one that are going viral with 30,000 likes, saying stuff like,
How hard is it to not freak with minors? Are they that good?
eye emoji. I'm sorry for looking more Asian than usual, but what the fuck, man? Why are we putting an eye emoji? No, scratch that. Why are we even saying, are they that good? Like, this is what I mean when I said that these weirdos are getting way too comfortable.
30,000 likes, bro.
Like, why are we liking this tweet like this guy's cooking? Bro, the only thing this guy's cooking is his hard drive because of how much sus content, how much cheese pizza must be inside of that hard drive. I mean, with tweets like this, are they that good? We're talking at least terabytes. But don't worry, guys, because it gets even worse. We've got degenerate weirdos who are so comfortable that they're now making memes to normalize being a PDF. Now, I'm sure you're very familiar with the ideal GF meme, like the, I don't know, the devout Christian GF, the no self-esteem GF, the robot GF. Well, I'm pretty sure that one exists already. I'm pretty sure that's called ChatGPT. Sadly. But, yeah. Well, this time, the PDFs are making a... I'm not even gonna say it. 3,000 likes. They're that comfortable now, guys. These creeps are so comfortable nowadays that they're now showcasing to the world their ideal GF in the form of a meme. And My bad, this is not even a meme. Yes, they're yoinking the ideal Jeff meme format, but this is not a meme. This is some dog whistling pro-PDF propaganda campaign. Don't get it twisted. Now, I do hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I hate to say this for, I think it's like the 3rd time now, but don't worry guys, once again, because it gets even worse. Because we've got some next level PDF files, next level sus people who are now trying to argue that being anti-PDF is the same thing as being anti-gay. What? But it gets even better, because they're out there saying that, oh, you guys are just persecuting disfavored minorities. Ain't no way we're saying PDFs are minorities. Like, yes, number-wise they're a minority, but the connotation behind that term is, you know what they're trying to do, like they're like a protected species. Once again, they're a protected species, they're a minority. I mean, guys, technically, I guess they're right. I guess PDFs are a minority, but you know what? Some would argue that PDFs should not be a minority. They should be extinct. Now, I don't want you guys to believe for a second that this kind of degeneracy is only confined within Twitter. No, because let's not forget about the final bosses of unemployment. Redditards, who, instead of seeking employment, instead of, contributing to our society, they'd rather waste their lifespan arguing in favor of the benefits of AI-generated cheese pizza.
You wanna curb child sus admin abuse? You gotta keep non-offending PDFs from offending. Therapy would be ideal, but if letting PDFs do something sus to AI-generated Club Penguin keeps them from actually doing something sus to real children, well, you know what? That's the morally pragmatic thing to do.
Bruh, this is what I meant when I said that Redditards are the final bosses of unemployment. Because instead of seeking employment, instead of contributing to society, these 40-year-old unemployed freaks would rather write sus essays to discuss the benefits of AI-generated cheese pizza. And if you're a Redditard watching this video right now, no. Collecting disability checks is not a salary. I don't even know where to begin. Let's ignore the fact that AI-generated stuff, well, it's basing its coding from real stuff. Well, if you think for more than 2 seconds, it gets dark really quick. But you know what? This Redditard might be cooking. As a matter of fact, we should let pet owners do whatever they want to their pets. I mean, animals are just animals at the end of the day, and if, going full electro wizard on your pet, on your dog, prevents you from harming humans, that's a good thing. Oh, hold on a second. Apparently, oofing animals is a sign that someone is very likely to become a serial killer. Make no mistake, this Redditard's argument is so brain dead, it's not even funny. After all, there are professional PDF catchers such as Gideon who actually gets these monsters arrested and convicted for a living, and it's very common for these PDFs to admit to generating sus cheese pizza AI content prior to going out of their way to try to meet a real kid in real life. So this Redditard's argument makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But don't take it from me, take it from this elementary school teacher who got caught for being a PDF.
How often do you think you goon to students that you teach?
Oh, rarely.
Rarely. So you can count.
It's more like I'm into something else. Or
You'll
like I said,
transition.
I've been using novel AI primarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. I personally wouldn't feel comfortable sending my kid to an elementary school where the teacher literally admits to rarely gooning to iOS 4s that he teaches. And not only that, but he literally got caught trying to meet with a real iOS 4. But don't worry, according to these Redditards, well, as long as he's gooning to, AI-generated cheese pizza, he would never go after real kids. He would never try to meet with a real Clash Royale miner. But the reason as to why I've shown all of these receipts is to not only strengthen the argument, well, some would say objective fact and not just an argument, but it's to not only strengthen the argument that the internet is not safe for kids, but I firmly believe that the mental state of the youth would be in a way better spot, would be way healthier if it wasn't for the internet. I mean, I think I've done my part. I think I've reported at least 10 of these freaks in a span of 20 minutes, which is really not a good ratio to have, right? Like, that's not reassuring at all. Here's the thing, guys. I've covered so many of these disgusting topics, and it's always the same sad story. For example, in the past on my channel, we've covered this one girl who possibly had one of the most traumatic childhoods I've ever heard about. For example, she was approached by countless freaks who led her to believe as a Clash Royale miner that making sus content of herself and selling it for Robux in Roblox was normal, so she kept doing it. But not only that, she was also approached by a weirdo, by a freak, who was pushing, I think, 30 or 40, who not only convinced her to date him, but also to roleplay with him. What do I mean by roleplaying? Well, I want to do something sus for my undercooked doll. But here's the thing, guys. It wasn't really roleplay because she actually was an undercooked iOS device at the time. I want nothing for the best for this Leo YouTuber kid, even though I've made it clear personally what my stance is when it comes to kid influencers and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But from what I've seen during my research for this video, it would seem that the freaks who have infiltrated Leo's channel and tried to convince her to do OF, despite her being a Clash Royale minor, has had the opposite effect on her, since, because of them, she actually now has zero respect for OF girls. And I think that's personally based. Oh, hell no. Hey, is that a furry PFP? Oh, hell nah, delete your channel. But anyway, guys, smash like and subscribe, or your future son or daughter is going to end up doing OF. Or even worse, they're going to end up becoming a furry. Money, money, money.